Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Not So Glory Man United podcast with me and Brushy. And I just want to start off by mentioning the tragic news this morning that Ricky Hatton, the legendary British boxer, has sadly passed away at the age of 46, which shocked absolutely everybody and quite quite unbelievable that it happened on Manchester Derby Day. He probably, in my mind, he should have been there and watching his team win the derby, but it wasn't to be. And this is very sad news, Brush, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after the big fight last night as well. This is the last thing we were expecting to hear today. I'm sure many around the globe were watching Canelo Crawford. It was a great boxing match, and then this morning to wake up to that news for only 46 years old. To me, it seems like only the other day when I was getting ready to watch him face Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, it's shocking, shocking. Apparently there were some mental health issues and things there. We'll have to wait for further details to come out. But yeah, just condolences, and my thoughts are with his family and loved ones at this time.
Yeah, it'd be a very painful time for the Hatton family. Um, yeah, I just couldn't believe it whenever the news broke. I just was the last thing that I was expecting because he's so young.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's such a much loved character. He was a working class hero. Um, he always just remained a member of his community. He didn't get carried away with himself.
Hmm.
He very much liked to go down the pub and watch and have a pint with the City fans before games. He would go to his local cafe for a bacon roll. He was just one of the people, despite his fame and success. And that's why everybody loved him. That's why tens of thousands of people traveled to Vegas and New York to watch him fight because
Yeah.
everybody liked him. Um, yeah, the crowning moment of his career was probably the beating Kostya in Manchester in 2005. He was a big underdog on that fight, and he beat a legendary fighter in Kostya there, and that was probably the highest point of his career. And of course, in 2007, he went on to have mega fight with Floyd Mayweather. They were both undefeated going into it. I remember it so well. And
Hmm.
Mayweather came out on top. And then he had another mega fight with Manny Pacquiao as well. He only lost to the best, really. And he moved up in weight to take those fights too. He's probably at his best at 140. But yeah, he was very much the people's champion, and he'll be sadly
Definitely.
missed.
Yeah,
And
especially outside of the ring as well. Like even little things like the fact that his weight used to fluctuate between fights, because in between in his downtime he just liked to live a normal life.
yeah, and he poked fun at himself
Yeah.
during the ring entrance of one of his fights, where he come out with a fat suit on and his robe said Ricky Fatton on them. So he obviously had a good sense of humor, able to laugh at himself. Um, yeah, yeah, he'd be very sadly missed. No, I can't believe it. I mean,
Definitely.
his his son had became a boxer in recent years, and he's now gave that up and decided to join the family business with his carpenting, which Ricky Hatton's father was a carpenter as well, and came from very working class Manchester. And yeah, they'll be devastated, to hear this news. And we don't know what's happened. We don't like to
No.
speculate, but
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out in due course. But yeah, it's probably the
Yeah, at this
most.
moment in time, we just have to, leave the family to it, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably the most famous Manchester City fan other than the Gallagher brothers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's pretty much them three, isn't it?
he said that he fulfilled his dreams when on the night where he fought at the Etihad Stadium and he won, and the Gallagher brothers brought his belts to the ring. So that was a dream come true for him. Because he said all he likes to do is uh, he wanted to be a world champion. He wanted to watch Manchester City and he wanted to listen to Oasis. And on that night, he managed to do all three
All
combined, really.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very sad. And I thought once I heard the news, I think it's written in the stars that City are going to win this. Especially when I
Mm,
seen that Foden's pre-match interview, and he said that they were that he was going to do it for Ricky, and that
hmm
we and United did help them quite a lot. To be fair, they were absolutely atrocious on the day. Um, it seems to be we nick a win against City, or we get absolutely hammered by City. And
Pulverized, yep. And unfortunately, that was the latter today.
yeah, and we'll get into the details of the game on the individual performances, of which there were quite a few poor ones. But we have to address the elephant in the room, and I think that Amorim's now past the point of no return. I think it's a
Mm,
case of when rather than if that the board pulls the trigger, Brush.
yeah, yeah, we'll have to get into that. I think that's definitely the case. Especially again, we saw it where he's just not that flexible with his tactics. Like when you look at the playing squad that we currently have, surely it's screaming out 4-3-3, but he's allergic to it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I absolutely want to see United play 4-3-3 and get Menu into the midfield.
Yeah.
Now, Menu is just a player that the manager, for some reason, just doesn't rate or doesn't want him in his team, or
hmm
obviously, or has a preference for Bruno in the midfield too, and doesn't think that they can play together. Fair enough, but you have to find a room for Menu in the side, and I thought he was really good when he came on. He was fucking cooking City players, nutmegging people. Um, and we've seen that countless times from Manu. And for me, he's worth a place in the team. But the manager just doesn't like him for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't fancy. But we spoke about this in the summer in terms of the imbalance in midfield and questioning how he was going to sort it out. And as we've seen, he's not sorted it out, has he? He's just as lost as everybody else. And it's unacceptable because it's down to him. Like the summer has to come down to him and to the higher ups in the recruitment and stuff. Like there was things that could have been done to balance the team more, and it wasn't done. And now we find ourselves in this predicament again, unnecessarily, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I felt that the midfield two of Ugarte and Bruno were shocking, to be honest,
Yeah,
particularly Bruno.
yeah.
The amount of times he just gave the ball away cheaply, and then not really busting a gut to get back. He didn't even make an attempt to challenge Phil Foden for the first goal. And yeah, and Lenny Yoro quite rightly looked at Bruno and said, "Where were you?
hmm
You didn't pick him up there." Because if it was another player, Bruno would have been in the guy's face complaining.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You've got to keep the same energy.
Mm. Yeah, I thought Bruno was terrible today,
Yeah,
and another frustration with Amorim is that no matter how bad Bruno plays, he
he's always
stays on.
there, isn't he? He's
He's
always there.
he stays on for the 90
Yeah,
and doesn't get substituted because one,
yeah,
he's a captain, and two, he's Portuguese, so
yeah.
we're not going to see him be substituted. And so the manager doesn't help himself there either.
hmm
If the manager says that Menu and Bruno are competing for the same spot, well, if Bruno's not playing well, then get Menu on for him. But he's not going to do
hmm
that. You know, yeah, it's just I'm just pissed off as you can imagine. I also have
Yeah.
to touch on the fact that Luke Shaw had an absolute nightmare today. Um,
Ah, yeah. Completely outmuscled by Haaland. Just yeah, just left him for dust, didn't he?
yeah, that was that the second goal I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then the first goal he was absolutely roasted by
hmm
Doku, and it was just embarrassing really. Quick feet from Doku, and Luke Shaw was just taken out of the game. It was too easy, far too easy
Yeah.
that. Um, yeah, Luke Shaw is starting to look like a player that's on the way down, and he's had a lot of injuries, and
hmm
he just didn't look on it today at all. I don't think Martinez is going to find it too hard to get back in the starting 11. He's getting close to fitness again, and Shaw is definitely not doing enough to keep him out of the team. Yeah, very very poor. He couldn't get anywhere near Holland for that second goal. Yeah, and the third goal, I think we just gone to pieces at that point. Um, we're pumping a
Yeah,
lot of
heads had dropped by then.
yeah.
It was already too late. And then obviously, when you have one of the best finishers in the world. It's devastating, isn't it? And let's be honest, he could have had more goals today.
Yeah, yeah, and he was very good in both boxes. Holland.
Yeah.
He was defending our
Mm,
corners like Drogba used to do. So
yeah, yeah. The first one, I thought it was kind of gifted to them. It was very fortunate. Obviously, the first cross by Doku rather, blocked out. But then, he got the rebound, and then, just
yeah.
instinctive, isn't it, really, by Foden, took it away from the keeper as well. But again, I think if you have a better goalkeeper, they might have stretched out to that. But it is what it is.
Mm, so yeah, there was early on in the game. Bayern Deer made a right cock up that he got away
Hmm.
with.
Oh yeah, he was very lucky, very lucky. And then yeah, just our luck, obviously. On the other side was a man making his debut who had a stellar performance.
Yeah, Donnarumma was brilliant from. What was all this talk before he arrived that
About
he's no
not
good
being able to play out from the back and all that. Yeah,
and not been any good from corners? What a little shade
yeah,
that was.
yeah. And well, the shot stopping ability we already knew about. We saw that, didn't we? With that shot from Mbomo.
Yeah,
If it was against our keeper, I think that would have been a goal.
yeah, that was a great strike and an even
Yeah,
better
and
save.
an even better save, wasn't it? So yeah, brilliant. Yeah, just unfortunate. Obviously, we can't catch a break. Come up against a very good team. I know they lost back-to-back games, but well, they've had the international break as well, so that probably gave them a bit of respite. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, again, missed opportunity for us to build any kind of momentum, and it's 4 games now and 4 points.
one goal from open play by a United player in those four
Yeah,
games.
yeah. Our top goal scorer this season is what, own goals thus far.
Yeah, y- yeah. So that's over 6 hours of football, and we scored one goal from open play.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not getting any better. We're absolutely
No,
toothless. And
we're
one
14th in the league at the moment,
and
minus 3 goal difference.
once again, we're seeing a very lonely striker up front.
Yeah, yeah. Again, yeah, yeah. We're setting him up to fail as well.
And Hoyland has scored already for Napoli. So,
He has, and yeah. I even pulled up the Googles to see what Anana's been up to. He did concede one, but overall, apparently, he had a decent game.
uh, uh,
So it's just our luck, isn't it? It's the United curse. It just continues.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, Hoyland, that I knew would be a good move for him. I thought Napoli would be better suited to him than AC Milan as well. Under Conte, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Mm. Kieran here says that Donnarumma wanted mental money. Only cheating City could afford to pay what he wanted. Yeah, I
Yeah,
I don't think the United's keeper lost him the game today. Even though I
yeah,
don't trust Bayern I don't think that was the difference. I think the
yeah. I
difference is
mean,
probably
listen, if we had a keeper of his caliber, I think you might have stopped one goal from going in. But
yeah.
we still would have lost the game overall. There was other
Uh,
areas of weakness. That midfield, I mean, that's a problem that they really should have addressed. And they didn't. I know they tried to with Belieber, but really they should have planned better for that because
but
we could see the warning signs.
I don't think a midfield two is ever going to work anyway
No, no, you need a three. You need a third man there.
because most of the opponents you're coming up
Yeah,
against are going to have three in midfield.
yeah.
So for me, it's just not this system is not going to work in the Premier League,
No, no, it's not.
and he's
And
so
then
wedded
people
to it.
point, yeah, and that's the thing. And people point to like Crystal Palace and that, and what Glasner's done. But listen, it's a different set of circumstances and different kind of pressure at United than it is at Palace. Like if he were to come in and try this, it probably wouldn't work, and he would probably get thrown under the bus as well.
Yeah, because I just think even for example, on the right, it's so unbalanced when it's Ahmad
Yeah,
and Mbeumo out there, the
yeah,
two
yeah.
left-footed players.
Again, I mean that's down to them. Lack of due diligence. I mean they should have done their research in the summer.
And I have to say that Dorgu is nothing more than a squad player.
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is. He's not had one proper season under his belt. He's not had a fixed position before he's come in. He's a utility man. Um, so yeah, and he's got no experience ahead of him either. He is now the senior player in that position, really. Um, unless you
Absurd.
go makeshift Dallo, the only two out and out left-sided players we've got are him and Leon, who's even younger. So it's elite nonsense.
Yeah, I like the tenacity from Dorgu, but there's a real lack of quality there. How
Yeah,
many times did his cross just hit off the shins of the first defender and go out for a corner or throw in?
yeah,
It's just
definitely. And the thing is, I don't want to be too harsh on him because he's only 20 years old. This is going to happen. This isn't on him. He's just been thrown in at the deep end. It's really a club problem where he should have been the understudy to someone more experienced.
yeah, it's ridiculous that the 20-year-old is the experienced left back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's insane. Or you should have done the smart thing and gone and found someone else who's maybe of a similar age but still more experienced game wise in the Premier League. There was the likes of Kirkes and Out Nouri as examples. Even that Robinson at Fulham, quite a tiny player. He's a bit older as well.
Definitely, definitely, yeah, very experienced player.
Yeah, yeah,
He's an American international.
yeah.
Um, another player who's had a really poor start to the season is Amad Diallo, I'm afraid.
Hmm.
Uh, I know he's been playing at right wing back up until now, but today he started the
Yep.
game as one of the tens, and he he was not good at all.
No,
Yeah, he's not beating people anymore. Well, that's what
no.
that's what he's there for. Um, yeah, and he went for that spectacular effort, and he
Oh, I
just
just
missed it.
completely missed everything, didn't he? I don't know
Yeah,
what he was thinking there, to be honest.
yeah. Um, yeah, we really missed Kuna and Mount today, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Kuna is so good at beating people, and Mason
And
Mount,
and Mount has started the season quite well by his own standards. So yeah, he's contributed. So yeah, it was definitely a miss today.
yeah, Mount's one of those players that's just everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah, puts in a big effort as well.
Yeah. Um, but once again, we're getting no service to the front man. I feel sorry
Hmm.
for him out there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. It's Seshko isolated, but again, it's his first start. Up until now, we've been playing where there is no recognized nine, and then we bring him on as a substitute. So there's work to be done there. There's work to be done.
but there's so many crosses that we're looking for him, and either
Yeah.
they're under hit or they're over his head. You're like,
Hmm.
this is shite. This is
Yeah, it's
absolute garbage.
terrible, isn't it? Yeah. And again, this for me as well, it comes from a lack of having proper out and out wing backs.
I know we've
If you had
got
wing backs for the delivery, then yeah, I understand. But then,
yeah on one on the left wing back position, we've got an inexperienced utility
hmm
man,
hmm
and then on the right wing back today we had Mazarahi, who's basically a right
hmm
back, and
yeah,
obviously, but in most games it's Ahmad, and he's
yeah,
like he's a winger slash number
yeah,
10. It's just
yeah.
it's just square pegs and round holes.
Yeah, yeah. Again, so yeah, this is the concern. Again, when you look at the summer spending as well, we went so top heavy, and there was a lot of money spent. But then, what have we really improved? So this is how
Nothing.
we end up in this constant cycle of just foolishness. And this manager, he's going to get himself sacked. The way he keeps going, because obviously it is a results based industry at the end of the day, and you have to pick up points in order to buy yourself time to establish whatever the hell it is that you're trying to do. But it's
Yeah,
not working, so it's only a matter of time. I think come the second international break, the pressure's really going to intensify, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we part ways with him. But then from there on, I don't know where we go. Like I don't, I'm at a loss to be honest with you, pal. I don't know how we change this.
yeah. There's nobody that we could bring in and have a
No.
guarantee that he's going to turn it around. That's
Nope. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just the
Even under the last manager, when it started to turn sour, we were like, oh, you know what? Anyone would do better. And then now look what's happened. So
yeah, yeah. Results wise, he
yeah,
was it now 7 wins in 7 months he's had.
yeah, yeah.
I think he's had 8 Premier League wins overall or
Mm.
something. No, it's 8 or 9.
Listen,
It's
listen. Our goal
terrible.
difference, our goal difference at the moment is -3.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it's been for the last few seasons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
even the simplest things aren't improving.
Yeah. Like his record speaks for itself. He's
Yep.
actually the worst United manager yet in the post-Ferguson
Hmm.
era. The record is simply appalling. And
Yep.
so we're averaging a win every month.
Which is
It's
enough to
almost
stay
lot.
up. So woohoo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can say that not everything is the manager's fault, and
Yeah,
that I accept that. But he's turned us into relegation fodder. That's what
yeah,
we've
yeah.
become.
And we've got Chelsea next. I'm not looking forward to
Yeah.
that one.
Do you think we lose at home to Chelsea? That could be it.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends. It really depends on them, innit? Like, because are they working behind the scenes to come up with a contingency? Because that's the other thing as well. I'm not in favor of just sacking managers without a plan. You need to have a clear direction that you're headed in. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure we have that at the moment either. It's just the line. It's the blind leading the blind. It's all just nonsensical. Nothing makes sense to me with this club anymore.
Yeah. I'm sure we heard numerous reviews on
Hmm.
Ineos with regards to how they run uh, Nice, and
Yeah,
none of the reviews that I heard were positive.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah. So the
Yeah,
next three games we've got Chelsea at home, then Brentford away, and then Sunderland at home.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty much only confident maybe of Sunderland,
Are you? I'm
and
not.
even that's a maybe. So out of the next three, I think we're going to get one win, and Sunderland are high flying at the moment. They're seventh in the league, 2 wins out of four, one loss,
I
one
do.
draw.
Here's how I see it. I don't see. I think he's done now.
Yeah,
He's past the point of no return, and in that case, there's no point in prolonging it. There's no point in wasting other more fixtures. Just get it
yeah.
done.
But
Uh,
again, it has to be with a plan, though, innit, Carl? Because who comes in?
yeah, well, they're going to have to bring in Darren Fletcher as an interim or something until they figure
Yeah,
out
it's gonna.
who the
Yeah,
next.
it's what all the United old boys are out of work as well. I, I think it probably will be a Fletcher or Carrick or something, even a Van Nistelrooy maybe. But yeah, all the old boys are available. Ollie's knocking about. Jose's there.
Do you remember when Ten Hag was sacked? Then Van Nistelrooy
Hmm.
was the interim for like four
Hmm.
games
Yeah,
before Amorim was available. Amorim wanted to see out
the
his
the season at Sporting. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but he also wanted to see out uh, he wanted to get to the international break before leaving Sporting,
Hmm.
basically. So Van Nistelrooy got an extended period as the
Yeah.
caretaker. If Van Nistelrooy had stayed on, I think we would have done better than what we did under Amorim. You know,
Yeah, possibly, possibly. I
not
don't
that
think
I'm
it would have been
saying
as bad. I don't think it would
I,
have been great, but I think it would
I,
have been
I don't want
certainly,
I don't want
with
people to
yeah,
misinterpret me here. I'm not saying
yeah,
Van Nistelrooy should be the United manager. I'm just
yeah.
saying that it's so bad under Amram. I think it would have been better
That
under a
that he
caretaker
would have,
manager.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the thing is, he probably wouldn't have drastically changed things. You can make that
yeah,
assessment from the four games that we saw, just personnel wise and formation wise. And with that, with the players that were suited to that system, I think it's
yeah,
fair to say we would have picked up more points than we did. Because what happened last season was just diabolical.
yeah. I totally agree. And this season is just an extension of last season.
Yeah, basically. But now you're a further 200 million plus down, and it's the same thing. But then obviously me and you saw that coming because there were so many other flaws in the squad, and they literally only just worked on a front line, which also didn't really make any sense. The Sheshko deal, I've got no qualms with. One in, one out. Hoyland's gone out. He's come in. Fair enough. The other two, I do question. Like you could have done with just 110, especially after the decision to keep Bruno. Anybody in their right mind would have sold Bruno, considering his age and the offer on the table, because at some point we're going to have to part anyway, and that would have been a good exit point in terms of rebuilding. And now you've been robbed of that as well, and you have this conundrum in the middle of the park where you know there is no two-man midfield that works. And he plays better as a 10, but then you've already got two tens. It's all nonsense.
Yeah, I don't want to be reactionary because he's had a poor game, Bruno
Yeah,
Fernandez. But when he plays like that,
yeah.
you do think to yourself, we should have taken the money.
Well, yeah, and he's 31 now. He was his birthday the other day, I think. Yeah, he turned 31. So yeah, we absolutely should have. And that's not to take anything away from Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez has probably been our best player over the past 5 years, and better than what we deserve at times as well.
Yeah, without doubt, the best signing of the post-Ferguson era.
Mm.
But um, I think when you're offered that kind of money for a
Yeah, it's a
30,
no-brainer, isn't it? You have to take it.
and you have a ready-made replacement in Manu there, and then it
Yeah,
gives you the money to buy more midfielders as
yeah.
well.
Also, that's another thing. I don't know what they asked this man in the interview when they hired him, but surely these things should have been established. Like, what is your style of play? Are you adaptable?
yeah,
How married are you to this? Where do you see the young players of this club? You know, the likes. Well, we know what happened to Garnacho, but it would have been one of my questions. The academy products, I would have said, listen, these are our young lads. You know, do you have a plan for them? Because surely we need to build around our youth. And you've already got rid of one. So Mainu again, he's in no man's land now. We don't know what's going on. Apparently, he wanted to go out on loan towards the end of the window. Obviously, old World Cup year and that. So it's just a hot mess, really.
I think Manu will be delighted when Amorim sacked. I don't think there's any
Yeah,
doubt about that. Um, yeah, and I'll bet you whoever, whether it's an interim or a permanent manager, I bet you Manu goes straight into the team whenever the new guy
yeah.
comes in.
He kind of has to, doesn't he? Because you have to
Mm.
build towards the future, and he's got to be a part of it, surely. And yeah, I don't know. I think you start to lose yourself and the identity of the club when we just start getting into the habit of selling off
Yeah,
all the youth academy products.
and the manager's been asked a question
Yeah.
about that record we have since 1937 or
Mhm.
something of always having a
Mhm.
youth player in the
Yep.
squad. The manager was asked, is he going to keep that going because it's
Yep.
in danger of go?
Yep.
And he says he is going to try and keep it going. He doesn't want to be
Yeah.
the guy that loses that record. But
Yeah.
yeah, with so few youth players in the squad now,
Mhm.
that if Manu was like injured or suspended,
Yeah.
you're getting close to the line because you got
Yeah, pretty much because Amas is out on loan. Collie is out on loan. Fredrickson, well, we saw enough of him with Grimsby. Poor kid. He needs a loan. Yeah. So yeah, no, yeah, there's definitely a danger of
and
that. But yeah, since Fergie left, we've been breaking all kinds of horrible records. So things
yeah,
come to an end.
we don't want that to go either.
No, no. But again, this is all for me. This is a more of a higher up kind of issue. Like they should have established all of this before bringing anybody in.
Yeah, it is a complete mess, as you say.
Yeah, yeah. Especially after they unveiled the dedication to Jim Murphy as well. So it's important that the club or the people that come into the club know the history of it, what it's built on. The emphasis on youth and why that's important. It's a big thing. And obviously, with Garnacho, we kind of understood because of his attitude and all the rest of it as well. But we can't get into the habit of just selling off academy players.
No, and unfortunately, the PSR rules have incentivized clubs to sell their.
Yeah. See, it's all bollocks, isn't it? They need to just revamp all of that. It's all crap. I don't like FFP either. If I'm being honest, it's all nonsense.
Yeah, and just on Garnacho, he lost his man at the back post for that equaliser. We've seen that before at United.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't like his defensive duties.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's their problem now, isn't it? So we don't have to worry
Mm.
about it. I'll tell you what, though,
Yeah,
I was impressed by the Chelsea finishes. What Cole Palmer and Casado are both absolute bangers.
yeah, top players. Yeah,
Yeah.
who we wish we had, both of them.
Mhm.
You know.
Mhm.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Every section, Carl. It just feels like we make the wrong decision. It really sucks.
but it's not just a case of us bringing in the wrong players. There has been a
Mhm.
lot of that, but it's also the players just don't thrive in this environment. And when they go
Yeah.
elsewhere, then they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. 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 They all seem to be doing well when they're when they're away from us. So that's also a concern.
Scott McTominay, the player of the year in Italy, nominated for the
Mhm.
Ballon d'Or. Uh, Haaland hits the ground running in Italy. Lukaku thriving over there.
Yep.
Um, Next thing you know, Onana's going to win the Golden Glove in Turkey, for fuck's sake.
Ah, well, hopefully
um,
he does because we need we need to drum up interest in him.
yeah, we need the transfer fee. Yeah,
Yeah,
and um, I just want to mention a manager, and this is where I am with this.
yeah,
Somebody said it online, and I had been thinking about this guy
yeah.
myself, which is Areola, the Bournemouth manager.
I really like him. I think he's a
Yeah,
very good manager. I think this club would probably swallow him alive though, but I am a big fan of his. I thought Tottenham would have been a great move for him in the summer. Obviously, they made a good decision as well with Thomas Frank. He's also decent. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Areola. I think he's good. But again, he's a manager. You need to give him time. With this club, patience you know, is not a virtue.
I am exactly where you are. I think he looks like a very, very shrewd coach.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot out of the resources that he has
Yeah.
at his disposal. They seem to be getting better every
Mm.
season, Bournemouth.
And again, Bournemouth's recruitment as well is excellent. They're also similar to that Brighton model where they know how to reinvest the money. They know they're a selling club. So they take on players that they know they can improve and then make a profit on and then
Yeah,
run it again. At
yeah,
United, it's not going to be that. So,
yeah. But my concern is that, as you've already alluded to,
mm.
is that this club will swallow my life. It's like
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
the job is just too big for most
It's
people.
too, but yeah, that's the thing. And there's not enough certified managers out there with pedigree these days because of age and other things. Like for a club like us, honestly, we need to go and entice like a Luis Enrique or someone to come in and to actually give us confidence. But that it's an almost impossible task unless he
Yeah,
has a falling out at PSG or is ready to leave or something.
yeah. He would need to be available for us to get him. I don't.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it has to be a big name like that who's been there, done it, two trebles in a decade. That kind of attitude that comes in that calms everyone down. That way, even if it's a dodgy start, people can't really question it. Whereas someone like Areola, 2 games in, if we don't get a win, it's curtains. All hell's gonna break loose.
Yeah, but as you said on our previous podcast when we talked about Enrique,
Yeah,
do you think he'd come to United the way we
yeah.
are
Well,
at the
yeah.
moment?
No, at the moment, no. I think that ship has sailed. I mean, I think there absolutely was a chance to get him a couple of years ago, but not now. He was originally the one I wanted when we were linked with Ten Hag and Pochettino. Um, but yeah, now I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately. But yeah, there's not many certified managers out there, are there? Literally because of age and stuff. Like, because obviously, Jurgen Klopp, obviously because of his Liverpool history, there's no chance.
No,
Otherwise, I think that would
no,
have been a no-brainer. Otherwise, because
no.
58 is not that old in management terms. But yeah, that's a no-go. Pep Guardiola, obviously with them lot, so that's a no-go again. Top manager. Carlo Ancelotti finally moved on from international onto international football and given his age, that's not happening. And we had chances with him, several chances in the past, which we didn't take.
Yeah,
Even when he was at Everton, he could have come in and done a job. But
yeah,
again, missed the boat. And then if you look around Europe as well, it's all young managers that people have taken a chance on. Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid, like what's his history? Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich, he got Burnley relegated and then got that job. So
yeah,
everyone's sort of taking risks and building their own little project managers.
yeah.
So that's
There only is like three or four league coaches.
yeah. There's only a handful of elite coaches left, so that's the thing, and they're all for whatever reason we have to rule them out. So you know
Uh,
That's
yeah,
that's the
it's,
difficulty of it. So anyone you go in for now is it's obviously not without risk, but yeah, it's if you have the patience and the due diligence and the vision, everybody has to be on board as well these days. It's not like the old school when you bring in a manager and the manager sorts everything out. Now there's directors of football and there's head of recruitments and everybody has to work in tandem.
yeah, and there has to be a chemistry between them all for it to work.
Yeah, back in the day, it used to be that the manager had a say in the director of football, and usually when that wasn't the case, then the relationship would turn very sour, and there would be a fallout, and one of them would end up departing. So,
Yeah,
under the old school ways of doing it, if the manager was involved in that process, it worked better for everyone.
to me, they've all made mistakes at United.
Yeah,
It's a collective
absolutely,
responsibility. But
absolutely, absolutely,
but
it is a collective thing.
but but Amram's going to be the fall guy without a
Yeah,
shadow of a doubt,
yeah, he's absolutely going to be the full guy. But
as the
then they've
manager
got
is
a decision on
protocol.
their hands. What if or when that comes? Because then what do you do? Do you stick with this? Do you bring in another manager that plays a similar style to this, or do
No,
you scrap
please
all of
no,
it
please no.
and revert back to something a bit more traditional and conventional? And if that's the case, then people are going to start asking questions about some of the sales and that as well.
Yeah. Um, Abs here in the comments from end to end. He says we will eat areola, as both us have said, and
Yep.
he says get Glasner. Same formation, by the way, but we don't even have the players for that formation as it is. So that's what I'm thinking, that if we
Yeah,
change
yeah,
coach,
that's my one concern with it because Glasner, yeah, he is used to it, and obviously he's got the FA Cup as proof that his thing works. somewhat. I just yeah, this club though, I think it might be too big for him. You know, it would just
Yeah, but it's not
eat
as
him
if
up.
we have outstanding wing backs that can play the system. We don't.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well. But that for me is a concern. I mean, we spoke about this over the summer. It's concerning for me that a manager who plays with wingbacks doesn't see the importance of getting specialized wingbacks. Like anytime I brought it up, I was just told, "Oh, this manager likes to convert wingers to wingbacks." Well, at this level, that's not going to run. And if you can't see the logic in getting a proper wingback, then I don't know what to tell you. Your system's flawed.
Yeah, as you said, the recruitment was so top heavy, and
Hmm.
there was no focus on wing backs or midfields. Um, y- yeah, it's difficult to know where we go from here, to be honest. But if we do switch back to a traditional 4-3-3 coach,
Yep.
there's one hole that I can see and it's due to the sales, as you say.
Mm.
Who would play as the left winger in a 4-3-3?
Well, I suppose you'd be stuck with Cunha, even though that's not typically his sort of
Yeah,
wing position. You know, he's
would
more of an inside left.
yeah that yeah he wouldn't be a traditional winger.
Nah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Yeah,
So, you
so
know, if we were to do that, I assume in like 2 years' time, would there'll be another set of rotation, and we'll just go through the cycle again, where whoever comes in, they spend their 2 years trying to undo what the previous manager did. So,
yeah.
there'll no doubt there'll be
And,
changes in
and
personnel.
Abs has reminded me, the fact that any of us haven't spent money on wingbacks tells me they don't really believe in Amorim that much. It
Yeah,
tells me that they're already thinking of what comes
it's
next.
either that, or if this man is deluded enough to say that he doesn't need them, then that's also a concern. Because I
Definitely,
mean,
yeah,
I was
that's
outraged by this. We spoke about this over the summer. The amount of wingbacks that moved on at other clubs who were at a higher level than Dorgu, and that's not to take anything away from Dorgu. I just think he's very very young, and there was other more experienced options out there.
yeah. I don't know. Did we bring in Dorgu because we needed someone cheap because we're afraid of breaking the PSR rules? Um,
See, even that it doesn't really fly for me because the money we spent on him, that's what Liverpool paid for. Frimpong. Frimpong went for what 29.5 million, and he's a
yeah,
player who can cover all of that right hand side.
I know,
Out Nori was available.
but,
Miguel
but
Gutierrez went to
it's
Napoli, I think, for
yeah,
about
yeah.
20 million.
But I think once the PSR deadline of
Yeah.
June 30th passed, then United were willing to spend more money. You can clearly see the difference there
Mm.
once that date passed, that they were willing to go and splash. And in fact, they're
Again, if
willing.
that was the case, though, Carl, why couldn't they have done their due diligence and
Yeah,
put a deal in place beforehand for it to go through after that date?
yeah, yeah.
Like, you can't tell me that Dorgu coming in January made any sort of difference to us last season.
No, it did not.
I
They should
was
have.
in favour at one point.
Yeah,
I was
to
so
be honest.
desperate. I was in favour of bringing Regulon back on
Yeah, yeah, I heard you.
loan.
To be honest, they should have just kept their powder dry then, and
Yeah,
got him
exactly.
and waited for a more experienced option.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like that's the thing. Like I don't, it's not about jumping the gun. Like last season when Zubamendi turned down Liverpool, they didn't panic buy. They just bided their time until the right opportunities arrived. And look at the summer they've had. It's ridiculous.
uh, yeah, and Ab says here that Dorgu isn't a left back and Shaw is done.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Uh,
the thing. So if we revert to a 4-3-3 or whatever, that is one of my concerns actually with Dorgu as a left back. The one positive would be that Dallo and Mazraoui suddenly become useful additions because that right back they're both competent. So that would give us an option there.
yeah, mhm. Definitely, it won't be a seamless transition to a four three
Nah,
three. There,
nah, it won't be seamless because obviously we had problems with it before. But compared to what we're seeing now, I think more pros than cons. I would assume
yeah, definitely. With this manager has already made it clear that he's not going to change his
he's
mind.
not. He's so stubborn and stuck in his. So it's really on the board, isn't it, on what they want to do. If they want to ride this out,
He
or
said.
if they want to switch it up.
So he says after the game, when I want to change my philosophy, I will change. If not, you have to change the man, which he means sack him.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm. Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? Like he's so stubborn and stuck to it. Like we heard him speak after Grimsby, and he was sounded so dejected. And some of what he was saying, I don't know if he was speaking in code, but it almost felt as if to me like he had given up. Like when he said that, today the players have spoken loudly. I was like, okay. So is that your way of telling us that they don't believe in you?
Yeah, yeah.
Or,
I think,
or does this mean that, they've made it clear that this system isn't working? So after that, I'm expecting you to maybe be adaptable, but you're proving that you're just so stuck in your ways. Like, there's no room for anything.
but in order to get players to believe in your system, you need to win games, and they're
Yeah.
not doing that.
Hmm.
The players themselves are bound to be questioning this approach and this formation.
Yep.
I see even Peter Schmeichel after the game, he works for like foreign television, and he says, "Go forward the back." So,
Yeah.
he says, I think he needs to consider changing things a little bit, change the system so you get players playing what they know, what they've been brought up to play.
Hmm.
He's saying what all the fans are thinking there, Schmeichel, but
Hmm.
the Amorim will not change it. The only way we change formation is if we change manager. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Um, but as we've touched on, we're even mentioning coaches that we like, but we still thinking that United will swallow them up.
Hmm.
That's the stage it's got to. We're just not having faith in anyone turning this around unless it's one of the absolute elite coaches like Luis Enrique or
Yeah,
some.
that's the thing. It has to be somebody that comes in and instantly commands respect, who people can't question.
Yeah,
Because if
I mean
you
a
get
guy.
somebody from a Bournemouth or, no disrespect to these clubs, but anyone in the bottom half of the table traditionally, the pressure's always going to be on them because this is a juggernaut in name and brand and history, irrespective of how we do it in the league over the last
Yeah,
couple of years.
and if somebody's managed Real Madrid or Barcelona,
Yeah.
they're equipped then for this job because
Hmm.
they're used to that big pressure of a giant club.
Yeah.
Um,
And
um,
that's the thing. Somebody like an Enrique would be perfect because he's been there, done it all. He's worked with the
twice
big egos. He's worked without the egos. He's done it all. He's done it both ways. He's
he's won the
managed the
trap.
biggest. Yeah, he's won the treble twice. He's
Yeah,
managed the biggest egos and managed to make them all selflessly work together. MSN, probably one of the coldest front threes I've ever seen in my lifetime.
yeah. PSG did better without them.
Yeah, yeah. And at PSG, he went in and he turned it because they had the Galacticos model before. It was almost like watching Florentino Perez's Real Madrid
Yeah.
back in the day, where it was the big names,
See,
but it wasn't really correlating on field. And he deconstructed all of that and brought in players
yeah,
that fitted his system.
yeah. But what we've seen from PSG in 2025
Hmm.
is proof that you don't need to have the best players in the world to have the best team. I mean, they won the
Not
Champions League
across
final.
board, not across
Yeah,
board. I will give
yeah,
credit though, because obviously their recruitment is still elite. Usman Dembele, I would say, was probably a bit of a risk because of his injury record, not because of talent, because that kid has always had talent. That season at Dortmund, he was incredible. And then at Barca, obviously, it was weight of the transfer fee and the injury. João Neves, absolutely amazing. He's a player that I screamed out
yeah.
for
But
last summer, and
what
we
I mean
missed
is,
out on.
you don't need to have all the Ballon d'Or contenders in your team in
Yeah,
order
yeah,
to
you
win
don't
it.
have to have all of that. Yeah, you just need to
Yeah,
have competent players that fit your
yeah.
system. And then also, when you're a really good coach, you can elevate players as well. Vitinha, bloody hell, where did he come from? I didn't see that from him when he was on loan at Wolves.
Wolves. Yeah,
Yeah, but so you need to have a bit of both. You need to have a bit of balance. So obviously, you need to have quality players, but also be able to elevate the game of players. And also,
yeah.
be flexible as well. Because on paper they have wing backs, but they play in a flat back four. Nuno
Yeah.
Mendes, people used to say, "Oh, he can't defend; he just attacks." Well, he can play in a flat back four, can't he?
Yeah.
Hakimi, amazing. So we don't have that. The
We were
quality, there's such a stark difference in quality. Just
we were actually linked with Nuno Mendes in January. That
yeah,
was just a pipe dream. That was not going to happen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, because I remember we were thinking, oh, maybe Alfonso Davies because his contract was coming to an end, and then Nuno Mendes and the Portuguese connection as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and even at that time, the only concern I had was, yeah, he's very good going forward, but still, with who we ended up going with, I would have taken any number of options before going for
Yeah.
Torgu.
Dorgy was the wrong man at the wrong time.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Like, because even yeah, I don't think many people had him in their top five when we were making shortlists. He certainly wasn't in mine.
but and you'll agree with this. Lemens hasn't played yet, and he might
Yeah,
well end up being a great signing like the half for
yeah,
United.
yeah.
But again, he's the wrong profile at the wrong
Wrong
time.
profile at the
Yeah,
wrong time. We unfortunately we saw who we should have had today. He was in net for the other team.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but
You know,
I
Lemens might end up being a fantastic signing, but I think it's a stats and data driven signing, and I don't think that always correlates well. It doesn't mean that it's a big jump up this from the Belgian league to this league. And other competent clubs have made similar signings, but what they've done first is they used to loan them out to other places so that they improve.
mm,
Chelsea done it twice now, buying goalkeepers from the Belgian league. First of Courtois, they signed him and sent him out on loan to Atletico Madrid for 2 years. And then when they thought he was ready, they were ruthless in bringing him back and got rid of Petr Cech like nothing, despite him being a club legend and having spent like a decade there or whatever.
see.
And then they've got Mike Penders now, who they've sent out to Strasbourg, I think. So again, same thing.
You said he didn't have or Pep Guardiola didn't have an issue with starting his new goalkeeper today because he
Yeah.
knew how experienced and competent
Oh
he
yeah.
is.
I mean, when you got one of the best goalkeepers in the world, like you just dash him in. You don't.
Yeah.
There's no
Whereas
time. Yeah, you don't have to bed them in.
whereas Amorim wouldn't play the new goalkeeper in this game
Yeah,
because he was
yeah,
afraid of him making a mistake and not destroying the young
yeah.
kid.
Of course, because this is a huge game. Like it'll be throwing him in at the deep end, is it, to the sharks, in a game like this. But then obviously, if you go out and get one of the best in the world, who's been there, done it, treble winner and that, he's Euro
Yeah,
winner as well, international level, like just
and
very
he
accomplished. It's a different kettle of fish.
and he proved his worth today.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely.
but you know what it is with United, just to make a general point, is that
Hmm.
our biggest strength is also our biggest weakness. And what I mean by that is we're a massive club with lots of fans and resources, but
Mm,
that also brings insane pressure like no other club in the country.
yeah,
So that's why it's so difficult to succeed at United. And
yeah.
I think I mentioned this stat a number of times.
Hmm.
Only three managers in the history of
Yep,
football have won the league at Manchester United, and one of those was before the First World War.
yep,
So there's only been two since World War One who've managed
yep,
to win a league title at United.
yep.
So it takes
Magnell, Busby, and Fergie. The
yeah,
only three.
it
Only
takes a
three.
special guy to come in at Old
Yeah,
Trafford and succeed. You know,
definitely.
most people feel that they're just not up to it, and
Hmm.
it's not a disgrace because we've seen
Yeah.
managers come to United and fail and then succeed at other clubs. It's just a juggernaut
And
of a
we've seen, yeah, and it's crazy how the roles have reversed because we've seen this happen at Liverpool throughout the 90s, from where they
yeah,
were and falling off
yeah,
their pedestal and just going into
yeah,
sort of mid-table obscurity for years on end.
yep.
And
I
yeah, it's
don't
a
think they
similar
were
sort of
quite.
thing.
I don't think
And
they were
not as
quite as
bad as
bad as.
this,
Yeah,
not as bad as this. And even then, like what, 15 years after their last title, when they managed to win a Champions League, we're now what 12 years down from our last league title. I can't
yeah.
see us winning a Champions League in the next three. Can you?
No, I'm
Yeah.
not sure we'll even be in it in the next three.
Hmm.
Never mind win it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't think Liverpool ever as low as 15th, but I know
No.
what you mean. I can see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
The roles have reversed completely,
Yeah. Roles are
and
reversed because there
and
was many years where they were just chopping and changing and making silly decisions, and then the recruitment wasn't right, managers weren't right, and they were just never really in title conversation.
yeah, and what are they doing at the moment? Getting last minute winners all the time, like we used to do.
Yeah. Yeah. 1-0 winners and that. Just
Mm.
4 wins from four, perfect record in the league.
So
Uh,
it's really painful that we have now become the Liverpool of the 90s
Yeah,
and the
yeah. And
noughties.
then when you see them making the recruitment, like, the transfers
Yeah,
they've made as well, like you're making marquee signings, you're
yeah,
identifying weaknesses. I was so glad they didn't get Mark Guay on the last day because they really need a
yeah.
centre back.
So and we've become them and they've become us, getting all the last
Yeah.
minute winners. And not they haven't played well in any of the four matches, and they've
Hmm.
won them all.
Hmm.
Won
And
them
they won
all, and
them
they
all.
have
Yeah, yeah. And what did they used to say? They say, if you play badly and you win, sign the champion.
yeah. Um,
And Isak wasn't even there today. So,
no.
strength in depth and all that.
And what about Hannibal Mejri? What the hell was he doing? Uh, gives away a needless penalty by
Yeah.
sticking his elbow out like that
Hmm.
in the 93rd minute or whatever it was.
Hmm.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh,
Insane.
and he knew it too. He had his head in his hands as soon as he did it. Um,
Hmm.
um, so it was an absolutely atrocious day all round for United.
Yeah.
As you say, we're back to 14th in the league and -3 goal difference.
Hmm.
Nothing has changed from last season, and I think
Nope.
we're on a Amorim's on a slippery slope to getting fired in the next
Very
few
much
weeks.
so. Very much so. But then, yeah, I, I can't say I'm too surprised having looking at our squad and our summer business because the rest of the squad is largely the same. There's no changes. So
Yeah,
why are we expecting anything significantly different? You know?
yeah, yeah. In fact, what we witnessed against Grimsby is probably worse than last season.
Hmm.
I didn't think it was the only thing worse than last season. I felt was getting relegated, but somehow we've managed to do something worse than last season is lose to a League Two team in the League Cup for the first time ever.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and
also, I don't know why I do this to myself, Carl, but I just had a gander at the transfer at the fixture list again. So I said the next three were Chelsea, Brentford, Sunderland. You know who's
yeah,
after Sunderland?
Liverpool, yeah. I,
Sunday, the 19th of October. Jesus.
I'm sorry, we can't have Amorim in charge of that game, or we're going to get absolutely
That,
humiliated.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't think he'll survive the next international break, but
Mm,
it could be sooner. The way things are going.
mm-hmm,
Don't be surprised if it even happens tomorrow morning.
mm,
Radcliffe chopped and changed managers quite a bit at Nice, so
yeah.
whenever they give the manager the dreaded vote of confidence, I don't believe that for a minute. I think
That's always the first sign, isn't it, when they get the vote of
yeah,
confidence, and then
and he's got it.
usually, yeah, yeah, and then usually by the second international break, it's all over.
And you seen Radcliffe's face there. He was sitting in the crowd. He didn't look very impressed. I already seen
Mm,
when things were going badly against Burnley. I know that we won the game eventually.
mm.
I seen what do you call him, Oma Barado, just shaking his head and putting his fingers into his eyes and going like this here. Yeah,
Hmm.
sooner or later they'll pull the trigger. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do a quick rundown of the player ratings just for extra misery. Um,
Aye, aye, aye.
so Bayendier, yeah, I don't think he was. He made a blunder that he got away with earlier in the game,
Yeah.
but I won't say any of the goals were really his fault. Although, do you remember the goal line scramble that said he should have scored from?
Mhm. Mhm.
And Lenny Yarrow didn't even trust Bayendier.
Yeah.
Uh, he just cleared off the line rather than let his goalkeeper catch it.
And
That was telling.
listen, we've seen this last season where Maguire didn't have faith in Anana. It's never a good
Yeah,
sign when defenders get involved in what should be left to the keeper.
yeah, that spoke volumes to me. Um,
Yeah.
so not his worst day by his standards, Bayendier now.
What are his standards? Ah, geez, what are we doing here? Uh,
So give him a four. Um,
yeah. Huh.
Lenny Yarrow always looks like a most competent player.
Yeah, but
Um,
today wasn't his day, man.
no, yeah, I give him a
And he got
five.
hooked, what, like an hour in?
Yeah, Maguire came on for him, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Uh, Delict, yeah, it would just be another five.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the defense didn't cover themselves in glory. Although I thought he defended the corners pretty well. He got solid headers on a couple of those, and I don't think he was outstandingly bad or anything like that. But when you can see three goals, you're not giving high marks to defenders, really.
Mhm.
Luke Shaw was by far the worst defender on the pitch.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
one of his worst games in a United shirt, I would say.
Mm.
At fault for the
But
first two
also, it's a
goals.
coming of age performance as well, isn't it? I don't know what else he could have done there. The way he got out muscled by Haaland was telling. He's a
Yeah,
player who's not cut out for this level anymore.
yeah, absolutely not. 2 out of 10 for Luke Shaw.
Yeah,
Um, Mazrahi, first game in a while. Don't think he was particularly brilliant. He always
nope.
works hard, puts
Yeah,
in a shift, but
yeah.
I'll be another 5 out of 10.
Hmm.
Manuel Ugarte, we thought was okay in the first half, but then
Yeah,
it
I thought he
seemed
was
just
alright. and
I
then
seen him getting
yeah,
embarrassed in the second half. He's getting out
yeah, yeah,
muscled.
yeah,
He's getting
yeah.
totally out muscled, getting nowhere near
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
Um, he just looked lost out there.
Yeah.
Whenever United,
Again, he's another player that would really benefit from a three.
yeah, yeah, I agree. But I don't think he's quite at the level that we need either.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think 50 million that we bought him from,
Yeah,
from PSG, I don't think he was worth that money.
yeah.
We sold McTominay to fund the sign of Ugarte. That looks like a awful piece of business now,
Mm.
given the goals that McTominay gets you. And
You can't do that because we saw enough of McTominay to know what
yeah,
he offers. But
but
I think he's just living his best life in Italy.
yeah, well,
Like it's easy to look
but
back at
but
Like at Dean Henderson
yeah,
now as
yeah,
well and go,
yeah,
"Cool."
but yeah, yeah, I'll take him all day long. I'm signing Dean Henderson tomorrow.
Yeah,
Um,
no, but this is what I mean though, Carl. Like in this day and age, right here, right now, yeah, I hear what you're saying. But at the time, I don't think we were wrong to sell him. Like at
yeah,
that time, it made
but
no sense to have a goalkeeper who's backup on 100 to 150 grand a week.
okay. So what I meant by the McTominay and Ugarte situation is that yes, I was one of the people saying that McTominay is not good enough because if he doesn't score, he doesn't bring much
Yeah.
else to the team.
Hmm.
But if you're going to sell a player that the manager wanted to keep, that does get you goals from the bench, then you have to replace him with a competent
Yeah.
midfielder, and they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So that looks like a bad piece of business,
Hmm.
and it makes it look worse, given what McTominay's went on to achieve. And I know that it's kind of a league that's of a lower quality than the Premier League and all that, but yeah, Ugarte was not a good signing.
Hmm.
I don't think he ever will be. Um, and I was amazed that he started today because Casemiro was preferred in every other game.
I think
So where
he's
did that?
better than what he's shown, but I think he's a limited player, and you have to play him to his strengths in a certain system to get anything out of him.
Yeah, um, yeah. I think that most people like Bruno, Menu, and Ugarte would all benefit from a midfield three, even Casemiro, I think as well.
Yep.
Um, so Bruno Fernandes, I think I had an absolute stinker today, to be honest. Giving the ball away repeatedly. Towards the end of the game, when City were counter-attacking, he was jogging back and even walking back. Was not. He totally lost Phil Foden for the first goal. Um,
Hmm.
you see, he's not disciplined enough to play that role. He's a number
Nope.
10. You know,
Yeah.
I remember Phil Foden scoring against United when Christian Eriksen totally lost him as well.
Hmm.
And again, it wasn't. He's not a central midfielder either. He's a number
Nope.
10 too. We're playing
Yep.
players out of position all the time. So Bruno would get it too. He was awful. Patrick Dorgu is just a utility man, a
Hmm.
decent squad player, but really lacks quality in the final third.
Yep.
Um, so I give him a 4. And Ryan Mbeumo, probably again United's brightest player, but he had a few. He doesn't have a right foot, does he? Some of his right foot
Hmm.
efforts were well off target. Um, he had his blushes saved by the offside flag, and one of his efforts he had a right-footed effort that he just skewed well off target, but he had that tremendous effort that Donnarumma saved brilliantly.
Hmm.
That was great technique from Mbeumo, but
Yep.
there's one
Yeah.
he should.
Against the lesser keeper, I think that's a goal.
Yeah, there was one where who was it? Somebody drilled it across goal, and Mbeumo, all he had to do was tap it in, and somehow it was harder to put it wide, and that's what he did. You're like, oh.
Hmm.
I think United had about 4 tap-ins that they didn't take today. Could have been a different game if they'd have taken those.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, do you
But
remember
then,
that?
having said that, Carl, the amount of chances City had as well.
Yeah. Uh, but if Donnarumma didn't make that save, that would have been
Yeah.
2-1, and it was game
Yeah.
on. But yeah, do you remember that somebody drilled it across goal and it hit Mbeumo in the 6 yard box
Mm.
and it went wide of the post and it just looked like a certain tap in and
Hmm.
somehow it didn't go in. I just
Hmm.
can't. Oh, that just summed up our day really. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but as soon as we went a goal down, though, I just thought they were the better team.
Yeah, they got such
They grew
confidence.
into it after, yeah, after they scored, they
I thought
settled and
United were the
grew
better
confident.
team until City scored. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah. And then yeah, the heads dropped, and then they came into it, and then after that, we never really looked like getting back
yeah,
into it. To be honest.
once it went to 1-0, City
Yeah.
grew in confidence, and then we started second half. We were dominating possession again,
Hmm.
and then pinned back. And I thought this is what I want to see. But then when City went 2-0 up, United just fell to pieces. We were
Hmm.
The third goal was absolutely shambolic.
Yeah.
Mm, Uh, yeah, it's one of those goals that you've seen United concede before, where their heads have dropped and they've just given up.
Hmm.
And it could have been 4 or 5 then at that point, but thankfully that didn't happen. Um, so Amad Diallo was another very poor performance today. He's not
Hmm.
doing what we associate with him, you
Nope.
know, beating people and getting shots on goal or providing for other players. He's just not doing that. And yeah, that acrobatic effort he had was absolutely atrocious. It would be a 3 out of 10 for him. And Benjamin Sesko, I, it'd be a 5, but and that's because I don't think much of what we saw was his fault. He
No,
was
and you need to create chances for him. So
yeah, he's not getting any service.
nope.
As I said, the crosses were the crosses were either under hit or they were over his head.
Hmm.
And I thought at times he was holding the ball up well and getting winning his headers, winning flick-ons. He's he's we're just not getting the ball to him in good
Nope.
areas. Just the deliveries and the are just really really poor. So not his fault. We've seen I'm just afraid we're going to ruin this guy.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
and Newcastle fans will be laughing their heads off what
Yeah.
they're seeing because they're a new striker has scored already.
Yeah, yeah, got them the 3 points. Fantastic header. I mean, he's very tall, isn't he? He's what, 6'6" or something.
Yeah, and Amorim would get 2 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, it's just our luck as well, isn't it, pal? Like all the rivals, everybody else, the new strikers are coming in. They're scoring, if not on debut, at least within the first couple of weeks.
Yeah,
And for us, the wait just continues across all fronts.
yeah, yeah. I think you know, it's odd that United. I know this is not absolutely the case, but when we've had like caretaker managers like Solskjaer and Van
Hmm.
Nistelrooy and Carrick, we've looked really good. But when we have permanent managers, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Maybe we just have a forever caretaker manager and just
I guess it might be just like, when you get a substitute teacher in the classroom, it's a more relaxed atmosphere because,
yeah.
they know
Although,
they're not going to be there long. Nobody has to work
al-
hard for anything. It's quite
although
take it easy and relax.
the way why I said was that wasn't absolutely the case all the time is
Yeah.
because Ralph Ranić tenure
Well,
was a
yeah. Yeah.
disaster.
Again, that was another man, 4-2-2. At least
Basically,
with him, eventually he gave up on it because, players showed that it was nonsensical.
basically, if it's a United legend as caretaker, it seems to work.
Hmm.
You know, but permanent managers hasn't really worked out. I know Mourinho, Van Gaal, and Ten Hag did win trophies, but ultimately the league positions just weren't good enough. And
Yeah.
the,
I mean, again, I'll put it on the club as well because when you bring in these guys, you need to know what it is that you're getting. With
yeah,
Mourinho, you have
do
to
you remember?
accept all the negatives, but if you back him, he will win you trophies.
Do you remember when finishing fifth was a disaster?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now we'd love
yeah.
to
We
finish
thought,
fifth.
yeah, yeah. We thought hard. You know what? We thought, listen, missing out on Champions League and getting to Europa, we thought was absolute disaster class. Now, listen, it would be a step up from where we are, getting Europa.
Yeah, I mean the way things are going, I don't see
Yeah,
European football on the
nope,
horizon this season.
nope. I mean, even to get Conference League, you need to finish what, like eighth or ninth or something.
Yeah, already teams like Bournemouth look way better than us. Spurs look
Yeah.
better than us.
Hmm.
Everton look better than us.
Palace are undefeated.
Palace, yeah, yeah. we
Yeah,
if we continue with Amorim for the rest of the season, I think it'll be another relegation battle.
yeah, yeah,
After,
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't disagree. I think it's going to be bottom half of the table, definitely.
but I don't think they'd allow this to continue
Yeah.
for the rest of the season. They will
I mean,
pull
to
the
be
trigger at
honest,
some point.
I had to think I'm quite realistic anyway. So all I was expecting this season was top half anyway. And when I
Yeah,
say top half, I mean like the lower end of the top half. Sort of seventh to ninth was my early prediction. But even that is looking like a pipe dream at the moment.
yeah. It's a new way. I said earlier that on average in the last 7 months we've been winning
Hmm.
one game a month.
Yeah,
If we could up that to 2 wins a month, I'd be happy.
yeah.
With that's how bad
If
we
we,
are.
yeah, yeah, if we could just at least fortify the home, just pattern
Yeah,
up at home at least, and just make ourselves a little force at home, it would be something to build on and give us hope. But it
yeah,
doesn't matter where we go, what
yeah.
we do.
If we could return to Fortress Old Trafford, that would be a start.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that would be a start.
I think you need to be a good team to make that happen.
Yep,
And we're
yep,
just not. We're nowhere near it.
nope. And again,
So
we're just going to be rescued this season, Carl, by the fact that there's going to be a few teams way worse than us.
yeah, Wolves for a start. Yeah,
West Ham, West Ham are
West
in real
Ham.
trouble. I think Graham Potter's dead man walking.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know where that win away to Forest came from, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, and but are Sunderland worse than us? I'm a bit worried now.
Mm.
If they,
Sunderland are above us at the moment. They've actually got off to a
yeah,
good start. They've spent quite a lot as well. They've got 2 wins out of 4, so they've
yeah,
got 7 points.
they're winning. They're winning their home games. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They've only lost one game in 4. They're seventh in the table. Yeah, it's actually been the Premier League boys that are struggling. Wolves, I thought we would because you can't keep selling off your best players and not replacing them. Aston Villa, I did think they'll dip, but I wasn't. I didn't see this. I didn't see them getting off to no wins in 4 and a minus goal difference of 4.
look. If Sancho and Lindelof are your marquee signings, you're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, because they sold off Jacob Ramsey. Obviously, Rashi left. Yeah, they didn't really replace any of their pieces that we lost.
I think Harvey Elliott's a decent signing though.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you what, Martinez rescued them yesterday. Otherwise, they wouldn't have got a point. He had a great game.
Yeah, he does tend to have the odd good game, but he makes
Mm,
a lot of errors too.
he does, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. But I was
so
watching that. I was thinking, oh, just our luck in it. Just this bastard puts in a man of the
mhm,
match
yeah,
performance.
yeah. Anyone that was linked with United,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
anyone that used,
Anyone who leaves or doesn't come to
mhm,
us, it just they just live their best life.
yeah. And we could bring in Messi and we'd turn him into
Yeah,
friggin'
yeah.
I don't know Peter
Luke
Crouch.
Chadwick.
It's just Luke Chadwick. Yeah. No, it's yeah. We could have a front line of Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe, and wouldn't score any goals.
Yeah,
You know, yeah. It was
yeah.
just
Honestly,
yeah. I'm going to end the misery there. Okay.
yeah.
Please everybody, if you enjoyed our therapy, then please smash a like on the video.
I certainly needed that car. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Uh,
tell you what, I really didn't want to do because usually on these kind of days, I'm like, "Do you know what? Shall we leave it till tomorrow?" But then today, I was like, "Nah, do you know what? Let's just pull off the band-aid. Let's get it over and done with. I can't be bothered to wait around this one."
yeah. Do you know what? You see, sometimes in the past when we've waited to
Yeah,
Monday night to do the
yeah,
podcast,
yeah,
I get I get less and less enthusiastic about it. I just like
yeah,
I
yeah.
wish when it gets to like Monday evening, I'm like I wish I'd done
Uh-huh.
this last night now.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. So yeah, I just thought, no, it's better to just deal with it now, and I feel better for it.
yeah, a little bit,
A
but
little bit, a little bit.
mm, I think the darkness now in my background is very appropriate. It's like
Uh
the darkness has descended at Old Trafford again.
It
Uh,
reflects the mood perfectly, Carl.
yeah. So please, everybody, subscribe to the podcast and get the word out there to more United fans if you're enjoying our content. And I will be back in the next few days, and no doubt me and Brush will be back
At
after
some point,
The
uh,
Chelsea game.
I'll be back after Sunderland, Kyle.
Now,
I'm messing. I'm messing. Do you know? Knowing my luck, I'll probably just jinxed it now. We're probably going to lose
Do
to
you know what?
Sunderland.
Yeah, the way Sunderland are playing,
Yeah.
that's a potential banana skin there.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I'm sure we'll be back in the next couple of weeks after Chelsea or Brentford.
yeah, and we shall wrap it up there, folks.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for joining us live and listening afterwards, and thanks for all the downloads and the retweets as well. So I shall see you again. Until next time, Brush.
Yep. Take care.